This time I call the regular April meeting of the County Commission to order. And we ask the county attorney, Mr. Jackson, if he will give us our invocation, and Commissioner Henderson lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Most gracious Heavenly Father, we again thank you for this opportunity to come together to do the business for Lincoln County and for the citizens of the county. We ask that you give each one of us your wisdom and your guidance, your understanding of all the issues that will come before us tonight, Lord. We thank you for the blessings you give us. We ask that you continue to bless each and every person who is here tonight. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Members of the board, item 4, you have the approval of the minutes as sent to you. Is there a motion that the minutes be approved?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Wade, second by Commissioner Collins. Any discussion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. Item 5, approval of the agenda. Is there a motion that we approve the agenda as printed, and it is some things on the back page this month?
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion, is there a second?
I second.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. Item number 6 is departmental reports. 6A, the Office of Emergency Services, Director Broom, who's on vacation and came back.
Good man.
I'm still on vacation, be back Monday, but I'm here. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. It's an honor to be here. I've submitted my written report. If there are any questions, I'll be glad to answer them for you.
No question, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions, Commissioner Wade?
Yes, sir. Just a couple of things. Since our audience can't see your report, looks like your response time is 8.7 seconds, 8 minutes and 7 seconds.
Roughly, yes,
response
sir.
time.
It varies, stays
Yeah.
under 9 most days.
I noticed on our collection agency, 0.
Yep.
You might want to give that to me. I can do that good.
I don't disagree. The board voted a couple of years ago to take aging receivable accounts and put them with a collection agency. They're well.
Director Dawson, if you would, speak close to that microphone. For some reason,
I
I'm not
apologize.
getting any volume up there.
A couple of years ago, the board asked or voted that we place aging receivables with a collection agency. They're reputable, but they have not been successful with a lot of, and it doesn't cost us anything. Let me tell you that up front. These aging receivables, so they're over 120 days, they're sent to the collection agency. It doesn't cost us money. They only get money when they collect.
But we billed 74,000, and they collect, or we have collected 21,000. So.
Okay, now we're talking about something different. We're talking
Okay.
about emergency billing. Emergency billing is not our collection agency. They work the accounts up to 120 days, and then they turn them over to collections. They're
Okay.
written off as an aging receivable, or I hate to use the term, but bad debt, if you will, individuals who refuse to pay a bill.
Okay.
So there's 2 entities there.
Okay.
And one thing you need, and I went back and looked after your previous question, which I greatly appreciate your concern from the last meeting, and we actually collected $5,000 more in January, it would have been, or February, than we did the previous year. And one thing that's very complicated about EMS billing or medical billing is that you can bill something today. It takes 21 days to get an answer, yay or nay. Mm-hmm. If you file an appeal, it's another 21 days. Mm-hmm. So these accounts can run 90 days before we see any type of payment. And you will see a decrease in revenues over the coming 3 to 4 months because our volume is down. Mm-hmm. For the last 3 months, we've been below 100 calls.
Right, I noticed that.
So we won't see that effect for 3 to 4 months in our revenues.
Well, I know it's not easy, but can we look at another collection agency? I mean, zero is zero.
Zero is zero, and we absolutely can. You know, I'm open to suggestions.
Okay.
You know,
I mean, if you ride in the ambulance, you should pay.
I
At least something.
Commissioner, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
I do not. And we offer very low, we'll set up payment plans. I mean, we have folks who are on fixed incomes, on Medicare, and they pay us $10, $15 a month. And we're fine with that. We, you know, it's fine. Let's get around 10% of whatever your bill is, and you know, and then there are others who just refuse to pay. They just won't. And we don't have tangible items other than the service, you know? And we cannot, under the law, refuse to respond to an address because they hadn't paid an ambulance bill.
Right, I understand.
So there's limited options.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. And the last item, I see here that all of your ambulances are in operation, including your fire vehicle. Is that right?
Yes, sir. They are. They're aging.
Well, they do a good job out there. They wake me up every morning. But I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, Director Dawes? Director Broom?
Ouch.
Okay, thank you. Six B is the Recreation Department. Director Glaze is not with us tonight, but you have your written report, and I think I read where we have 17 Little League teams scheduled to start play Monday, April the 15th. And of the 17 teams, we have 205 kids participating in the summer baseball program. And I think they just completed something. Mr. Collins.
Mr. Chairman, if I might, I would like for you or Director Seymour to get the word to Director Glaze and the gentleman that works with him. The rec department is looking super good. We just need some azaleas so it'll look like the Masters, but it does look good. I've been over there 3 days this week and a couple times last week, and they're doing, I think, a terrific job.
Thank you. Any other questions on recreation? 6C is Finance Department Director Arnett.
Chairman and Commissioners, you have my written reports. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
You have the written report on the finance. Any questions, Director Arnett? If not, we'll move on. Thank you. 6D is Public Works, Director Seymour.
Chairman, members of the board, you have my written reports. Don't have anything to add to those unless you have questions. I'll be more than happy to answer those.
Got a question, Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Wade.
Quiz you a little bit, Director Seymour.
Yes, sir. I'll do the best I can.
On your water customers, looks like you got 1,483.
Yes, sir.
Got 150 sewer customers,
Yes, sir.
and you got 594 water taps out there. So you got 2,077 customers.
Yes, sir.
Looks like the average water bill for those 1,483 customers is $40.40. And the sewer is $39.85. And that availability customers is about $10. But it's sort of been on my mind that the water and the sewer always runs about the same kind of money per customer.
That's correct. It's about the same. It's just a hair difference in the minimum amount for water and sewer, and just a little bit difference in the per thousand rate after the minimum on both of those. They run pretty close. Yes,
Yes.
sir. So basically, if you've got a $50 water bill, you're going to have a $100 water and sewer bill.
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Item 7, and this time we have to go into a public hearing on our zoning recommendations. Is there a motion that we go into a public hearing?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
That's second.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion is carried. Okay, Director Seymour, if you put that microphone a little closer.
Yes, sir.
I don't think my box down here is working.
Okay.
Item 7A is an applicant from Kevin Beggs, rezoning map 28, partial 020C and 025. Director
Yes.
Seymour.
On April the 8th, 2019, the Planning Commission heard the following request. The applicant was Mr. Kevin R. Beggs, map 28, parcel 20C and 25, known as 1341 Aycott Norman Road. It consists of 11.51 acres and a .4 acre parcel currently zoned at A1. The request was to zone it from A1 to a C2 to continue the operation of a auto repair shop and a service center. Mr. Beggs acquired the property some time ago from, I believe it was the Aycocks that owned a business there, auto truck repair business. It was grandfathered in prior to 2013 when the ordinance went into place, so when it changed hands, he had to come back before zoning to get that changed. The recommendation from my board was unanimous in approval of this recommendation.
Basically not changing anything he's doing now.
No, sir. Or
Okay.
nothing that's been done there for the last 20 years.
Anybody here to speak for or against the rezoning of this piece of property from A1 to C2? For or against? There being none. Any comments to Director Seymour from members of the board? If not, is there a motion that we accept the recommendation from the planning board?
I make a motion, Mr. Chairman, we approve.
That's second.
I second, Mr. Chairman.
A motion by Commissioner Wade, second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Like sign. Motion's carried. 7B is an applicant from HD Construction, Melissa Dawkins, special use request, map 60, parcel 051A. Director Seymour.
Yes, sir. On April the 8th, the Planning Commission also heard from applicant HD Construction for map and parcel 60-51A on Maxim Road, consisting of 3.94 acres, currently zoned A3, which is lakefront agriculture. The zoning request is to allow for a special use of the property for the use of a borrow pit. Mr. Dawkins is taking dirt off of the property and selling it, and the recommendation from my board is approval. Keep in mind that this is not a zoning change. The property will remain in A3 zoning. It's just a special use permit which allows him to do what he's currently doing on the property and continue to do that and be within the letter of the law. So it's not changing the zoning. It will remain A3.
Okay, and that is just for the borrow pit, soil pit to
Correct.
dig and go out. It's not to bring anything in and to bury it?
That is correct.
That kind of stuff. It's just
That is
to
correct.
dig dirt and sell it. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Is there anyone here that wants to speak for or against the special use permit? Anyone want to speak for or against? If not, any comments from any of the commissioners?
I have one question. Mr.
Commissioner
Chairman.
Clyde.
He's met all these state requirements and all.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Seymour.
I talked with EPD as late as about 3:45 this afternoon, and according to EPD, they have been out to the site several times. He has passed all of their inspections and currently is within guidelines of the state. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am, if you would come to the microphone and speak. Ma'am, we can't get it on the video for the thing. We need you to come to the microphone. I know it's hard on you. I wish I had a microphone we could take to you. When you get through, you just sit down right where Director Seymour was. Maybe we need a wireless mic for people that can't.
Good idea.
Robbie, get her in the microphone too. Where to be picked.
Y'all said he's not burying nothing out there. He bought in tree stumps last week. Where did they go?
He did what now?
Brought in old tree stumps back there, 3 or 4 truckloads of tree stumps. And they was buried back there.
Buried back there?
Buried somewhere, 'cause he come out and they wasn't on the truck no more.
And when was that?
One day last week, I wasn't quite sure, but he had took some back there and buried them.
Well, the county does not allow that, and neither does the state, unless you're zoned for that, or that would require a permit, correct me if I'm wrong, for an inert landfill. That is not there. If any of that is being done, it's being dumped illegal, and it can't happen. And if we find out it's happening, then we will have to do something about it.
Okay.
Now, I went down today and looked at the property, and, you know, I didn't see any evidence of anything that had been buried, and I went all the way back to the pond. What I did see was very clean, well kept, and looked good for what he's doing back there. I even talked, and I see Mr. Dawkins is here. I even asked him about, not that he has to, but to moving the road. I thought the drive going in was mighty close to where you're living. And he assured us that he would move the road down to where it wouldn't be coming right in front of your house. But Mr. Dawkins is here, and if that is being done, we are going to catch you. And if we catch you, we're going to deal with you accordingly. You understand that, don't you? Okay. All right. I have no reason, a legal reason, to deny it. Now, if we see evidence of that being done, you call this office over here, and we'll have somebody down just as quick as we can get from town down there. But as far as what we are permitting him for is to dig dirt, put it in a dump truck, and haul it off. That's all he's getting a special use for. Anything else, he's not approved to do. Okay?
Mr. Chairman, got a comment.
Thank you, Ms. Broom. If you want to sit right there, Robbie, if you want to help her.
You sure?
Mr. Chairman, I wanted her to identify herself.
Hold on just a minute.
Okay.
Commissioner Wade.
Yes, I just wanted her to, I don't think she identified herself, and maybe what her interest is in this property.
Okay, you're correct. That was Miss Peggy Broom, and she lives on the property in a home that Mr. Dawkins furnishes her to live on. She's the former property owner of that piece of property. Okay? All right, anything else? Is there a motion that we accept the recommendation of the planning board?
So moved.
Have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor of the motion, any discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. The motion's carried. Item 7C is the applicant Diane King for a variance request, map 35B, parcel 007.
Yes, sir, Mr.
Director
Chairman.
Seymour.
On April the 8th, the Planning Commission heard the third request from the applicants of Philip and Diane King, map 35B, parcel 007, better known as 1821 Ponderosa Drive. It's a .3 acre parcel currently zoned at R1. The request was for a variance for a side setback. Currently, the county code requires a 10-foot side setback. They're asking to be able to go to 7 foot, which is a 3-foot variance. I believe there's a diagram in your packet. Their piece of property is a pie-shaped piece of property. I think it's only about 22 or 23 foot across the front of it. It goes back to a pretty significant size in the back. They don't have room to put an accessory structure on that property other than being in the front and where you can see the diagram of where it's going to be located. I've been to the property. There are multiple properties down Ponderosa Drive that have carports in the front just as they're asking to do, and I think there's a diagram of the building they're wanting to build. My board's recommendation is approval unanimously to give them the 3-foot variance.
Mr. and Ms. King here?
Yes, sir, they are here. Yes, sir.
Okay. Heard the recommendation from the board. Is there anyone here that wants to speak for or against the variance? If not, any members of the board have any questions?
I've just got one.
Commissioner Clyde.
In the picture off the tax maps, it shows that cover, car cover, but all that's gone now, I guess, isn't it? This garage will replace that.
There's actually a little carport.
Hold on just a minute now. If she wants to speak,
Oh, I'm
she can
sorry.
come to the microphone.
I'm sorry.
And I will ask you to state your name this time. I forgot it a while ago. Speak clearly in the microphone. It's being videotaped for website, and TV, and everything else.
Diane King. And the carport that you're talking about is 18 feet wide, and we're wanting to put a structure there. It will not fit where the carport is. We're having to move it up some because the carport would block, if we put a garage there, it would block the front door of our house and everything. So we're having to put it back toward the road more, and because there's no other place to put it. So we would not be using the space where the carport is now. Oh, are we going to leave the carport there? Is that what
The
you're
little
asking?
cover, the metal cover.
Yeah, that cover. We haven't really decided yet. That's something I don't know.
But is
We can let you know when.
Now, where the garage is gonna go on that side, am I facing
No.
the house, is it to the right or to the left?
It's actually in front of the house.
In front of the house, huh?
But we wanted to put it far enough toward the road that we wouldn't completely block the house and just have a garage and not being able to see the house.
Yes, ma'am. I don't have a problem with the garage, I just was wondering about the metal cover that you had.
Oh,
in the
okay.
way, So, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Commissioner Wade.
Robbie, where this new structure is going, it does meet setback requirements?
Yes, sir.
Well, everything except for the side setback, which is what they're asking for a
Okay.
variance on, what they're
Okay.
asking it to be closer to the property line than the code allows.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Mr. and Ms. King, I see y'all from Statesboro. I hope you plan to move to Lincoln County, but we welcome you here either way.
We would love to. We've been owners here for 15 years now, and we love it.
Well, welcome, and we're glad you chose Lincoln County for your vacation home. You could have went to Hilton Head, I'm sure.
I don't think so.
Thank you. Y'all have heard the recommendations from the zoning board. Is our motion that we approve this variance?
Go ahead. You go ahead. I make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second
I second.
by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion?
I'll say this, Mr. Chairman, I know the Kings, and they're fine people, so.
Say what?
I know Mr. and Ms. King, and they're fine people, so I definitely would move to approve.
All right, motion and a second. Any other discussion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign, motion's carried. Thank you. Is that a motion that we come out of our public hearing?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Is that a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion on the motion to come out of the public hearing? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, motion's carried. We're out of the public hearing. We're back in our regular session. Item number 8, Mr. Jason Wheatley with the United States Department of Agriculture and Natural Resources Conservation Services. Mr. Wheatley, if you'll come to the microphone, speak clearly into it. Some folks in here can't hear good.
Yes, sir. Hi, my name is Jason Wheatley. I'm the district conservationist for Lincoln County, Oglethorpe County, and Wilkes County. And I do have some handouts if y'all would like to share. That'd be okay?
If you would, clerk, if you'd get them, hand them to the commissioners, please, ma'am. Okay.
I was just to tell you a little bit about some of the things we do, and I don't know if y'all have questions first for me, or would you like me to just kind of go into kind of...
You go over it first, and then we'll question you.
All right, sounds good. Right now, we're taking applications. We administer funds for the U.S. Department of Agriculture for farmers, and it's for conservation purposes. So some examples would be a farmer that has cattle, and they're watering out of a creek. It's fence. We could call shear fencing. We could put in alternative water systems like watering tanks, divisional fencing, things that are going to protect the soil, water quality. We also deal with poultry. We don't have a lot of that. We don't have any of that really in Lincoln and much. We do have a quail operation, but most of the things that we deal in Lincoln are going to be forestry related and cattle related. We do have some vegetable growers that we're getting. So really, we've got 26 applications this year through the Environmental Quality Incentive Program, which is EQIP. And we've got 4 applications for the Conservation Stewardship Program for Lincoln County. Current contracts that we got around 15 current contracts. We just funded 2 more applications and got contracted in Lincolnton for high tunnels. They're kind of like greenhouses, so we have some vegetable growers here that are utilizing those. On the sheet here, you can look down. Current contracts that we have, $317,000, a little over $317,000 in contracts, which we've made over $181,000 in payments for Lincoln County on over almost 1,500 acres. We do have, and I just put a current payment that we made back in March for a little over $5,000, and we are currently also helping out the FSA Farm Service Agency, which is our sister agency, with the Conservation Reserve Program, CRP, and we just certified some practices this week on that. So trying to be active, and we're also doing a lot of outreach to our farmers to let them know about what our programs that we have out there. And what I was asking from the commissioners is the commissioners, we do appreciate the funding that y'all have helped out with. We have a program specialist position there in the office, and it's been a big help to get these contracts in and get all these applications, because in before 2013, I think 2012, we had 0 contracts. So we've really increased the amount of contracts and participation. We maybe had 2 or 3 applications. Now we're up to 30 applications. So we appreciate this funding that we received. We've also gotten some more funding. NRCS has actually got a full-time district employee. They're a contract employee, but they are to support the Lincoln County Soil and Water Board. And next week we've got a field day for the school on Tuesday, so all of you are welcome to come to that. I think Chairman Norman, y'all had an invite to come to that, so you're welcome to come to that. We're going to have approximately 45 to 50 high school students from Lincoln County that are going to come out. We're going to be out in near Double Branches on Tankersley Farm, so it's actually be Dalton Tankersley and Stan Tankersley's farm, but also Brian Tankersley, and I think it's the Strawberry Farm out there on Double Branches. So you're welcome to come to that. We've also just this year had our first Envirothon team. There are only 16 teams in the state, so Lincoln County is the 16th team. So we're getting more participants. I think that's the first time we've ever had an Envirothon team, and we had 4 students from Lincoln County High School go and compete in that for the first time. So next year we're hoping to have them participate again, and looking forward to getting more students involved.
Mr. Wheatley, I appreciate your report, and you told us last year you would at least be down once a year to give us a report on that, and I appreciate you fulfilling that promise to us. I really appreciate what y'all do as far as the U.S. Department of Agriculture in general, particularly here in our county. But as you can tell, the county attorney and I both like to eat, so we want to keep these farmers and we appreciate it. This came up, we have a work session, as you know, last Thursday, week prior to this meeting, and this was discussed at the work session, and I think they all know what we're doing, but we're asking that this budget, and Director Arnett, correct me if I'm wrong, but from last week, we're wanting to take this from, what is it? It's about a $1,600 increase you're asking for.
That's
It's a
correct.
total of $6,133, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's about a $1,659 increase that they're asking for. And of course, you heard where we got a full-time person. Approximately $82,000 came back into our county. So I guess it's time, unless one of the commissioners has anything to say, that we need to ask for a vote. Now, this will take place, my understanding is, in the 1920 budget, is that right?
Yes, sir, FY20 budget.
So it would take effect July 1.
And our contract is, that contract position goes on federal fiscal year, which is
That's
October
October.
1. So this is for the change in October.
And ours goes from the
To
other, so
June.
we're in budget work now, so this will go into our budget as and hopefully we'll have enough to keep $1,600 increase in your budget. Is there a motion then that we accept this request and that we put into the FY 1920 budget $6,133 to help with the cost of U.S. government? And I think in our district is what, Lincoln, Wilkes, and Oglethorpe, is that right?
It's those three.
And they all pay a pro rata share of
They
this,
all pay this year.
as we do. Okay. Any questions to Mr. Wheatley? If not, all in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Well, we had took a motion.
No, we haven't made the motion.
Oh, yeah, got to have a motion.
I'll make the motion, we approve
Got a
this.
motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion? Chair is none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, motion's carried. Again, thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right, sometimes I get ahead of myself. All right, the appropriation of the hotel motel tax is item number 9. This is money arrived from the Lodger Clark and Soap Creek. And, we discussed this last week, but I think we need a motion to pay out of the hotel motel tax for the tourism of the Little Roy and Lizzie show that goes on next month. I think first full weekend in May of the music festival, which includes a lot of your bluegrass stars as well as some of your country. The farewell party guy, Gene Watson. If you haven't heard him, you need to come hear him. I think he's there on Friday night. I think Ricky Skaggs is there one night. You got the list. Everybody's seen it. We have about 3,000 people to come into the county for the weekend. And then the following weekend, Mother's Day weekend, Gaither homecoming artists Jeff and Sherry Easter, who are also from Lincoln County, will have their homecoming. I think some of you big name gospel groups. In fact, Bill Gaither was here a couple of years ago, for those of you that watched that. But I don't know exactly who all's there, but I know Little Roy and Lizzie will be, Janice and Lewis Tradition. I think the Hoppers will be back again this year, and some other gospels. That runs the following weekend. So if we could, we will appropriate out of the hotel motel tax $1,000 to each one of those projects. Is there a motion that we do this?
Mr. Chairman, I will make that motion.
Is there a second?
I second, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Wade. Any discussion?
What is the
Commissioner
actual
Clyde.
amount that we going, is it 1,000 that we?
Yes, a
I
piece.
thought, okay. I just
One
wanted to make
apiece.
sure. Yes, sir. All right, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Wade.
That money is used for marketing,
Tourism, yes.
tourism, yes. Thank you, sir.
All right. All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. I ask the clerk of the finance director to take care of that. Item number 10 is striping the GDOT Off-System Safety Enhancement Grant. Director Seymour.
Yes, sir, Chairman, members of the board. we were extremely fortunate to be able to get a grant it's a federal grant. It's what they call their Off-System Safety Enhancement Program grant. It's administered through the state DOT. And what this grant will do, it will stripe, re-sign, and put raised pavement markers on about 75 miles of county roadway at absolutely no cost to the county. We were fortunate enough to receive $333,333 through this grant. There were 3 counties in our district, our DOT district, that were awarded the same amount. It was us, Putnam, and Emmanuel. So we were extremely fortunate. I believe in the work session I presented to you guys a list of roads, and that list has not changed. I've not received any calls from any of you wanting to change it or add, so this is the list that we're going to go with. So I need an approval from the board to approve this list so I can send. I've already sent it actually to DOT, but they're holding it until we get a final vote. But
Okay, y'all familiar with the list? We discussed it last week. I see a hand going up. Before we do a discussion, is there a motion that we accept this list?
I make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
I'll second. Mr.
Motion by
Chairman.
Commissioner Wade, second by Commissioner Collins. Any discussion, Commissioner Clyde?
Yes, sir. Director Seymour, I think this includes new signage as well.
it
Then
does.
these roads are
It's
listed.
striping, signage, and raised pavement markers. Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? Any discussion?
Well, I wasn't going to discuss, but I will. Does that include, were we reducing these speed limits from 55 to 45?
Yes, sir. All
Those
of the roads.
signs?
The list I have to provide, I think you've got a copy of it. It asks for the speed limit on
Right.
those roads, and I've already submitted that. But
Okay.
it does reflect the changes that we've made on Double Branches and Chamberlain Ferry and Acott Norman. I've included those changes in here, so yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And what'll happen is we'll have the opportunity to go out and remove the signs after they put the new signage up.
Right.
And we can take the good signs that are still good and put them back into our inventory, and then destroy the ones that are too faded.
I hope DOT's not listening to this one.
But it does give us the opportunity to reclaim our own
Okay, any
signs.
other discussion?
Thank you, Director.
All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, motion's carried. Item number 11, intergovernmental agreement with Columbia County for service on the Transit Vans, Director Blunt.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. We have an agreement with DHS that we received funding for $10,166. And they require that our vans be checked by an ASE certified mechanic or a ARI certified vendor or a tech school certified employee. And we have no employee that falls into that category. So Columbia County has graciously agreed to annually, once a year, we have to have our vans checked, and all of their mechanics are certified. And so I'm asking y'all to agree to the interagency or intergovernmental agency agreement for this, and it'll be about $50 an hour. And we have 3 vans that'll be inspected.
Okay, we discussed this last week too. I think we know what we're looking at. That's something really new. We haven't been having to do this before. We wasn't doing it anyway, but now DOT is requiring that we do this. Is there a motion that gives me the authority and the clerk the authority to sign this intergovernmental agreement with Columbia County to service these vans, 3 vans once a year, I think?
Yes, sir.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion, is there a second?
That's second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Henderson, second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion on the motion?
Mr. Chairman, I just say that's a reasonable fee, $50 an hour. So.
It is. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Thank you, Director Blunt. We're getting close. Item number 12 is alcoholic beverage. We have 2 new ones. Clerk McKellar.
Yes, sir. I have 2 that have come before us for applications. They have Soap Creek Marina has submitted all of their documentation. Willie Mack has asked to postpone hers for next month.
Okay, we have two. We're going to vote on them separately. We have, I see Mr. Ernie Campbell, who's representing Soap Creek Marina and Resort, is here. Welcome to Lincoln County. For those of you that don't know him, I think you will be, Mr. Director Stone could probably do a better job now, but I think you're very active and involved with the ownership and the management of the revised Soap Creek area, and we welcome y'all from, where they from? Michigan is where we went, wasn't it? From Michigan. Come to the podium if you want to say something. I'm going to give you a minute to say something, y'all. Come on right there. You don't want to say nothing?
Your generosity is really almost unexpected. It's been great here. But yes, we're from Michigan. I'm Ernie Campbell. I'm very involved with the renovation and rejuvenation of Soap Creek Marina and Resort.
Well, we just welcome y'all. We look forward to it. Hope you have a prosperous and successful venture and a long-time relationship with Lincoln County.
We pay hotel motel tax, so I hope we're
That's
prosperous
right.
as well.
Yes, sir.
And if y'all continue to do what I hear you're going to do and build, we're going to get a little more hotel motel tax. So.
I think I heard some people in here like to eat. We're going to take care of that.
Yeah, and at this time we're going to give them a drink. So you've heard the request for the application for Soap Creek Marine and Resort for a Class A beer and wine license.
Yes, sir.
Both
Beer and
or
wine
just
off
beer?
premises.
Huh?
Yes, beer and wine off premises.
Beer and wine off premises, Soap Creek Marina Resort. Is there a motion?
I make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
I second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Wade, second by Commissioner Clyde to approve the sale at Soap Creek Marina. Any discussion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. You get with the clerk, and she can issue your license once you give her a check. Okay, 12B is Willie Max. Is anyone here from Willie Max?
She's asked to postpone hers till next month. She's out of town, and she didn't get one thing done, her background check.
Okay, is there a motion that we postpone? We can do that, can't we?
We can table it, can't we not?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
Chairman, you can.
Okay, we got a
I
motion to
researched it.
table Willie Max to next month. We got a recommendation. Is there a motion?
So move.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second, Mr.
I have
Chairman.
a motion by Commissioner Henderson, second by Commissioner Collins to table Willie Max Class C license till the May meeting. Any discussion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. The motion's carried. Item number 13 is alcoholic ordinances. I don't know why that's under me. I don't know if the clerk or the attorney is going to handle that. The clerk?
I'll be glad to handle it, Mr. Chairman, if you'd like.
Okay, we got to have a first reading of a brew pub and breweries. Mr. Jackson.
Yes, sir. Under the first is the brew pub license. Required, no individual shall be permitted to own or operate a brew pub without first obtaining a proper license from the Board of Commissioners of Lincoln County, Georgia, and each brew pub license holder shall comply with all other applicable state and local license requirements. Definitions, the following definitions shall apply to the interpretation and enforcement of this ordinance. Brew pub will be any eating establishment in which beer or malt beverages are manufactured or brewed, subject to the barrel production limitation prescribed in OCGA Section 3-5-36 and its successors for retail consumption on premises and solely in draft form. As used herein, the term eating establishment means an establishment which is licensed to
Mr. Jackson?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to ask for the suspension of the reading of this if there's not any objection by members of the board or the people sitting in the audience. We'll suspend the reading. It is online. If anyone wants to read it, I don't think we want to sit here and listen to 30 minutes of OCGs and dashes and stuff. This will be considered the first reading of the brew pubs and breweries. It will be back for a vote by the commission at the May meeting. Item B is a brewery license first reading. Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And this is a brewer's license, which it says license required. A brewer license from the Board of Commissioners of Lincoln County is required before a manufacturer will be allowed to manufacture malt beverages within the boundaries of Lincoln County, Georgia, except that a brew pub is not required to obtain a brewer license, but must obtain a brew pub license. On-premises consumption, in the event a brewer license holder exercises its right to sell malt beverages for on-premises consumption, said manufacturer shall first obtain a retail consumption license from the Board of Commissioners of Lincoln County. Definitions. The following definition shall apply.
Mr. Jackson.
Yes, sir.
Without objection from the commission or the audience, I'd like to suspend the reading of this first reading of the brewery license. Let me ask a question though. Is this the one for the brewery that's going in, or was that the other one?
It's the one I was just reading.
Okay, and that's the one that the state allows up to 10,000 barrels?
It's 2,000.
Well, we do in 2,000, but the state allows what?
It's 2,000 for a brewer.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And that's what we allow?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's the one that there's no drinking out in the parking lot or something too? I'm just saying that for everybody else. But anyway, this will be, if it's not on the website, if anybody wants to read it can go do it. It's not very long, really, but
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Clyde.
did we set a fee for that license yet?
I think it
We do that at
is.
a later date.
Have we set the fee? No, that'll be done at the next month reading.
That's correct. There's
It'll
not
be at the
been a
next
fee
month
set
reading,
yet.
when we actually vote.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so we will do this again next month. We're just letting the public know that we have these two. I spoke a little too quick. See, there's no outside consumption the first reading. Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It states under this section that it is prohibited for customers to leave the premises with open alcoholic beverages, and it is the licensee's responsibility to ensure that no open beverages are sold and carried out. It is prohibited for customers to gather outside any alcoholic beverage establishment and consume alcoholic beverages. It is also prohibited for any manager or any employee to allow persons to gather outside any alcoholic beverage establishment and consume alcoholic beverages. It shall be unlawful for any person to consume any alcoholic beverages while in the confines of any motor vehicle, when the vehicle is parked in the parking lot of any alcoholic beverage establishment.
Mr. Jackson, you did good. We let you read that whole thing.
Thank
We
you.
read that in its entirety. That is the first reading of this outside consumption. That's considered the first reading. Will be brought back at the May meeting. Item D, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item D is a proposed text change and amendment to Section 10-50 of the Lincoln County Code of Ordinances, where the current code section says no person shall allow or require a person in his employment under the age of 21 years of age to dispense, serve, sell, or take orders for any alcoholic beverage. Mr. Chairman, my understanding of the proposal is that age would be reduced to 18 years of age. This is what the state law says, that any person 18 or older can actually serve alcoholic beverages at a restaurant. Of course, to consume alcohol, someone must be 21. But this is just changing it to align with the state law requirements, Mr. Chairman.
And that's what most restaurants have done, and it is state law. We're trying to keep all this with the county and state laws, right?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And this is when we vote tonight, because it's just a text message. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. this section of the alcoholic beverage ordinance, section 1050, as he said, is just changing it from 21 to 18 to be able to serve it. You can serve it, but you can't drink it. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Is there a motion that we vote for the text change of the alcoholic beverage section 1056?
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
I was going to say I didn't want y'all all to do it at the same time. Motion by Commissioner Clyde. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. And the motion is carried. Item 14, and before I do this, Mr. Stone, I think we have a couple of people here that are in the Leadership Lincoln class. Are both of y'all in the Leadership Lincoln class? And one of their assignments, and Director Dockery. Y'all tutor him a lot. As in the Leadership Lincoln class, they're going through, 8 or 10 weeks of that class, and I look forward to coming and letting y'all hear me talk one day, too, so.
You won't look forward to it.
Yeah, it'll take a long time for that one, but they are here on assignment because of their class at the Leadership Lincoln, and they had to go and observe a meeting. I'm assuming y'all chose the commission meeting instead of the JCs or something. Is that correct? Okay. We appreciate it, appreciate you being involved, and appreciate your willingness to take time to go to Leadership Lincoln. Thank you for coming, too. Item 14 is the Development Authority Board appointment. I would like to, this is the chairman's appointment, and I would like to recommend and ask for approval that I appoint Beth Antonakis to the Development Authority Board to serve the remaining term of the term beginning in January. We're just doing this a 4-year appointment. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Wade, second by Commissioner Scollins. Any discussion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. Item number 15, is there a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Boy, that was quick.
I know it.
Got a motion by Commissioner Clyde. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion is carried, and we stand adjourned.